Sortie 3 Bravo brief. T for 2. Operation Iron Shield. 04 November 3067. FWS Retribution. Captain Eisenhower's conference room. Captain Stephen Eisenhower, CSG 68 Commander.
I hope you have all congratulated Amex Platinum on leading the rescue of the 13th LRSS on Malone Matruce. Securing the Marauders and their air crews is a huge boon for the entire strike group. To the entirety of the 13th LRSS, welcome to CSG 68. We look forward to gainfully employing you shortly. N3, please proceed with the briefing. Lieutenant Commander Dane Bethesda, Retribution N3. Good evening, Captain Eisenhower and staffs. You may remember that the intelligence that N2 and S2 have exploited as a result of our successful operation on Declaration late last month gave us another opportunity to rescue more League units. We have time-sensitive intelligence that the word of Blake has narrowed down potential hiding spots of the League Navy's FWS Orion, a fleet destroyer. They've worked their way through several potential spots and have dispatched a space action group, led by the cruiser CSS Vindicator, to find and destroy the Orion in the Hohenzollern asteroid belt in the Kaiser system. The Kaiser system is in a Blakist-occupied space behind enemy lines. We're already on our way via FTL. Anticipated arrival is in 3 hours. CVW-7 and the 13th LRSS, along with Retribution and Intrepid, will be leading this operation. Our mission is to intercept the Comstar SAG en route to Orion. But as the SAG is currently executing MCON, according to Intel, we have only the identified destination or likely location of Orion within the belt to use as jump coordinates. According to our time-distance calculations, the enemy SAG will likely have arrived just before we can complete the FDL jump, and we haven't been able to make direct contact with Orion. As we assess, it has shut down all communications to ensure survivability. Once we exit FTL, we'll have all CVW-7 squadrons and the 13th LRSS wings prepped for launch in Retribution's hangar bays, and they will sortie immediately upon making contact with the enemy. Break through the Blakist SAG to Orion. N6 will establish communications and will exfiltrate along with her once we can pass FTL coordinates back to the Ionis system, assuming she is in good working order. If she received damage that precludes her from making the jump, or if she receives such damage from the SAG, we'll have to destroy the SAG completely to buy ourselves time to assist her crew with required repairs to enable a return to Ionis. Over to N2 for intel. Lieutenant Commander H.P. Gibson, Retribution N2. The CSS Vindicator SAG consists of the cruiser Vindicator, 2 destroyers, Subjugator and Undying, and the marine transport ship Fortunate Raider. Vindicator has a moderately sized aerospace wing on board, not nearly as powerful as CVW-7 and the 13th LRSS combined, but still a dangerous mix of defensive fighters and multi-role strike attack craft that could threaten Retribution and Intrepid if they penetrate our aerospace defenses. Subjugator and Undying have only a very small contingent of scout craft each for spotting and picketing. Fortunate Raider has no aerospace contingent. Based on our exquisite intel, the SAG intends to board Orion and take as much of her crew prisoner as possible, then to scuttle the ship. They aren't expecting us to show up, so we'll be sure to put a real damper on their plans. Because of their operational requirement to board Orion, and their arrival shortly before ours, the SAG will likely be dispersed as follows, given what we have been able to research about Comstar fleet tactics. Fortunate Raider will likely be preparing to begin the coupling evolution with Orion, as Vindicator, Subjugator, and Undying will be attempting to cripple Orion with a 3-axis attack. First objective, we need to divert some of that multi-axis attack from Orion so that she doesn't take sufficient damage to preclude her from making a FTL jump. Second objective, destroy or disable Fortunate Raider so that they can't board Orion. The Marines will be very difficult for the relatively small crew of Orion to hold off. Third objective, break through the cordon of the SAG so that N6 can establish communications with Orion. We'll need to be able to get a status update of our FTL systems and pass her navigators the coordinates for the bastion in the Ionis system. If Orion takes too much damage to her fusion reactor, navigation systems, or FTL engines, we'll have to hunker down and transport as much repair and medical support to her as we can to expeditiously repair what is absolutely necessary for the FTL jump. If we have to stick around, Vindicator will have already passed word back to Comstar Sector Fleet HQ, and we'll have a hornet's nest on top of us before we can complete repairs and preparations for the jump. Based on further time distance calculations and known Comstar Sector Fleet composition and operations, the likely enemy ships that will be tagged for follow-up are the battlecruiser Dark Star and cruiser Eternal Destiny. Dark Star lacks an aerospace wing, as it is a ship designed exclusively to be a ship of the line. It is fast and can deliver punishing naval artillery of extremely high caliber and power. It should be treated as a mortal threat should it appear. Eternal Destiny boasts an aerospace wing virtually identical to Vindicator, and is a sister ship of the same class. We have no idea the status of Orion's systems currently, and we won't until we can communicate with her. She may be fully battle capable and able to hold her own for a time against the enemy SAG. Or the escape from the initial Comstar assault last month may have crippled her. Assume the worst, hope for the best, and let's save her and her crew. Good luck.